another act of hooliganism by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde camp MLA. Second incident in a day where MLA Santosh Bangar slaps and abuses the manager of a catering service which provides food to labourers in Hingoli under midday meal program. Bangar claimed food quality was bad. Earlier, Prakash Surve told his workers to break the hands and legs, saying he will ensure bail. So this is the second incident, like we are saying, an MLA from the Eknath Shinde camp abuses an employee, and this time it is someone who runs a center, a catering service, manager of a catering service, and that's the latest we are getting. This is an act of hooliganism by an MLA from the Shinde camp. The second incident in just a day. Earlier, MLA Santosh Bangar slaps and abuses the manager of a catering service which provides food to labourers in Hingoli under the midday meal program. Bangar claimed that the food quality was bad. In the earlier incident, Prakash Surve had told his workers to break hands and legs of those who are guilty of such instances, and saying that even if they do so and get booked, he will ensure that they get bail.
गाली देने का, उसको मारने का, उसकी अगर आप एक एमएलए हो, हिंगोली के एमएलए हो, आप उसको इजीली निकाल सकते हैं. सीएम साहब भी आपके पार्टी के हैं, तो फिर एक्शन क्यों नहीं?
त्याला कुठल्याही प्रकारची शिवी दिलेली नाही, गाली दिलेली नाही. मी जे बोललोय ते फक्त त्यांना एवढंच बोललोय की हे जे तुम्ही वागताय हे चुकीचं वागताय. गव्हर्नमेंटचा पैसा तुम्हाला देतोय, गव्हर्नमेंटची पगार तुम्हाला देतोय, गव्हर्नमेंट तुम्हाला अन्न देतोय, गव्हर्नमेंट तुम्हाला टेंडर काढतोय, आणि तुम्ही या पद्धतीने जर वागत असाल तर हे मी सहन करून घेणार नाही. त्याच्यामध्ये कुठल्याही प्रकारची शिवी मी दिलेली नाही.
बांगर जी, आर यू सेइंग कि आगे भी आप ये कंटिन्यू करोगे, लोगों को मारोगे अगर ऐसा होगा तो?
ये लोग अगर सुधरेंगे नहीं तो 100% मेरे को कोई फरक गिरने वाला नहीं. एक ध्यान में रखो, छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांचा मावळा सरसेनापती बाळासाहेब ठाकरे यांचा मी मावळा आहे, आणि अन्याय विरोध लढा देणं हे माझं काम आहे, हे मी करत राहणार.
इतने लेवल का एक कॉन्ट्रैक्टर लेवल के आदमी को इतना मारना, थप्पड़ मारना, गाली देना क्या शोभा देता है एक पब्लिक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को?
एक ध्यान में रखो, मैं जब वहां पे गया और वो तुम्हारे माहिती के लिए चाल ढकल का काम कर रहा है, बराबर तुम्हारे माहिती के लिए प्रश्न का मेरा उत्तर नहीं दे रहा है, तो मेरा काम है तुम्हारे माहिती के लिए, उसको मैं दबा के पूछ रहा था, पुलिस नहीं पूछती.
प्रकाश सुर्वे जी ने भी ऐसे ही किया, आपने भी ऐसे किया, क्योंकि सीएम शिंदे पावर में, इसलिए ऐसा ब्रेजननेस और हुलिगनिज्म.
एक ध्यानात ठेवा, प्रकाश सुर्वे असतील का मी असेल, आम्हाला शिकवण सरसेनापती बाळासाहेब ठाकरे छत्रपती शिवरायांची आहे. ज्या पद्धतीने या महाराष्ट्रामध्ये या महामानवांनी जन्म घेतलाय, आणि त्या ठिकाणी जर कुणी अन्याय करत असेल तर आम्ही सहन करणारे शिवसैनिक नाहीत.
Mahesh Tapase of the Nationalist Congress Party NCP joining me here on the program. Good afternoon, Mr. Tapase. What we see here are public representatives, MLAs, taking law into their own hands. First it was first it was Prakash Surve, now it is Santosh Bangar, and if you heard what the MLA said, that the police would have done the same, so what is wrong if I'm doing it? How do you respond to these instances?
It's a very unfortunate incident, and I think the entire Shinde camp is trying to take the country back to the police state. You know, our freedom fighters and makers of a constitution ensured that we are living in a welfare state. And by these atrocious acts of violence, you know, you could have just made a police complaint, you could have appealed to the higher authority. But taking the law in your hand and so brazenly saying that I am going to do this, I think it speaks of volumes of what kind of governance that Shinde camp is going to give to the state of Maharashtra.
You know, this kind of political arrogance is seen across parties. Here, of course, two of the MLAs from the Shinde camp has acted brazenly. I have Atul Londe of the Congress also with me. Mr. Londe, good afternoon. Very disturbing instances where you see MLAs literally slapping, abusing workers in this manner and then justifying it. We spoke to Mr. Prakash Surve and Santosh Bangar, and Mr. Bangar actually justifies it, saying if there are anomalies, if there are discrepancies in the way work is done, this is how we will operate. Do you think the Chief Minister should respond to this kind of a situation and, probably crack down on these elements?
Certainly. Chief Minister should take a very stringent action against Mr. Prakash Surve and Santosh Bangar, because they are the lawmakers and we are into session from tomorrow. So what kind of message they are sending to the state of Maharashtra? Are they converting a state into a police state? Who are they? They are lawmakers and they are themselves taking law into their hands, which is very wrong. And I think Eknath Shinde should set an example by taking stringent action against both these MLAs. Otherwise also, Congress is going to raise this issue in upcoming session.
Yes, because, we as a channel, we have our eyes and ears out for these kind of instances where we see that politicians are crossing their line, they're exceeding their brief, and here it is more than that. Here it is a case of physical assault. The fact that a neta can think he can get away with this. Mahesh Tapase, if you're still with us, how do you control these elements? And every party has them, let's face it. Or are you saying it's only the Shiv Sena and one section of the Shiv Sena that harbors these elements? Across parties they exist.
Across parties, they have started existing to a certain extent of late. But initially, when political system came to the country, people were more sensitized towards the problems of the people. There was law in place for everything, and now the thought that I am above the law, and as a lawmaker, nobody can come and touch me. So this kind of feeling which is seeping into the minds of lawmakers is disastrous for the country. And I think at no level, whether it's the Sarpanch level or it's the parliamentary level, I think no public representative should think that he's above the law of the land and the law. I think suo motu, why police is not taking cognizance of this incident suo motu. I mean, they should book Mr. Santosh Bangar for this physical assault on that catering manager that he has done.
Absolutely. Both these netas, Prakash Surve and Santosh Bangar, should actually be booked for this kind of an assault, which is clearly not their job to take law into their own hands. They cannot be seen slapping and abusing workers at whatever level it is that they find any sort of, a discrepancy. It is not their job to slap people around, as you see there in the picture. And this is the second instance of an MLA displaying this kind of rowdy behavior. Mahesh Tapase and Atul Londhe, thanks for joining us.